Curious about all things paranormal? Well, you are in for a treat. Each week we dig up the top three craziest stories and mysteries right from our Facebook group. So grab yourself a drink, relax, and get ready to dive into the supernatural with me. This is episode, what, 20? Jeez. But before we dive into our first submission, why don't we take a quick look back at what we talked about last week? It won't take long. Let's see. What did we talk about last week? We had our great friend Marcus Vasquez here. He joined us, and I'll tell you what, it was a great experience. We all had a great time. We had people all over telling us, where they're from, all their stories. It was so cool, and it was so cool to catch up with Vasquez. I haven't seen him in a while, but I do have a little special surprise for you all. We may be having him back here in a moment, but I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Leanne, good morning from down under. How you doing, Leanne? We got Carrie. Good evening. Let's see here if he joins up. I have to get in the meeting first. That's probably a good idea. That would probably be a good idea if we got in the meeting. But now, while we wait for him, when he joins, let's see what else we got. Anyone in the chat want to share any stories they've had over this past weekend? I'd like to hear them. Marcus, you joining? Marcus. Oh, here he is. And let's welcome him right now. Marcus, how you doing? Can you hear me? Disconnected audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Great to
All
have you
right,
back.
awesome. Yeah, good to be here.
Here we go. So you can see the screen, right?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Let's bring up our first story of the day. Hold on. Facebook. Okay. Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
All right. What we got? 187,000 people.
That's
What?
crazy. I think last week it was like 177.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy. It went up a lot. That's awesome.
Um, Rachel, hello. First episode for me. Welcome, Rachel, over on YouTube. Marbles44, excited to watch. Ash from Facebook, hi. Carrie, welcome. She's saying welcome to our dear friend Vasquez here. Leanne, I stayed at my daughter's and watched ghost stories all weekend. That's awesome. That's basically what we do all the time. Ash, I got a story. Ash, tell us your story. We want to hear it. Let's dive into our first post, though. This comes from Lee Spolma. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. Box was empty when I took this picture. What do we got here? So let's click on the photo. Do we see anything in this box over here? I'm assuming this is what they're talking about.
It's it's kind of hard. I see a face. I see
It,
a face.
which I think she was applying that it looks like someone is like reaching out of this box here.
Wow. Yes, I do kind of see that. I do kind of see that.
Marvel says looks like a kid in the box. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. This picture almost looks as if like a toddler decided just to get into an empty box and kind of like, I don't know, play around a little bit.
So
I
you, so
I
you
don't
you're not believing this one all the way?
I'm a little skeptical about this one. Definitely a little skeptical about this one. If we could see, I'm always skeptical a little bit about pictures because you could always edit pictures, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
If
the
this
pro-
was a
that's
video
well, that's even the problem with videos now with AI.
with AI, I know.
I mean, you could just make them through that, but I think I know they generate AI content. Like there's like a watermark on there, but there's ways to get rid of that as well.
Right.
But if we're looking at here, I don't know. Well,
I
let's
don't
I
know.
want to see what some of the comments are saying.
yeah, I'm a little skeptical about this
So I was like, I
picture.
don't understand. What are you saying? What's in the box? Reflection on your mobile. I'm not trying to discredit anyone. It's just people pulling straws to see something. We were supposed to be seeing too blurry. That's a lot. There's always blurry. People are saying pareidoia.
Hmm.
I think it's a reflection. I don't see a mirror in the. So this is like this person just zoomed in on it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if this is necessarily paranormal.
I'd like to see if there
I
was
don't.
another photo taken.
Yeah,
This is why I tell everyone, please, if you're well, a lot of people, if you're hunting for the paranormal, take multiple pictures of the same area. That way you can disprove that or prove it.
right,
But I mean,
right,
this if this person wasn't expecting it and they just took a photo and then later on they're like, oh, what the heck is this? Then I can see that.
right.
But I like to see if they can go back to that spot and take a and just I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. Marcus, what else is going on with you?
Oh, nothing much, nothing much. Just hanging out here at Barnes and Noble. So
You're at Barnes and Noble right now?
yeah, yeah, I'm at Barnes and Noble.
And for the free Wi
So
Fi?
yeah,
Oh my God. All right, hold on a second. Let's go back to our. Let's see what other people are saying. All right, hold on a second. We got some stuff going on in the chat. Um, looks like a kid in the box. Looks. Bear Flag says it looks like Buzz Lightyear. Leanne says hard to see. I think it's a face. You need to take 3 pics in a row. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
right, exactly.
The multiple photos. Okay, Ash. Here's a story from Ash. Back in 2011, I lost my dad. I'm so sorry to hear that. I lived in Stockport, and there was a park at the back of me, and it came to the light and it vanished. But it had a luminous jacket and baseball caps. It was so weird. There was a park at the back of me. The light and vanished, but it had a luminous jacket. We've seen some luminous things before.
Oh yes, we have.
Um, that is a crazy story. Rachel, I've got a story, not terribly spooky, but kind of funny in retrospect. Sadly, no photos, and I was alone when it happened. If you want to share that story, we could still like to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leanne says, "Hi, Marcus."
Hi, Leanne. How you doing?
Let's go while everyone else is typing their stories in the chat. Let us go to our next story. Do you want to read this one?
Let's see what we got. Um, okay, someone tell me if they've had this happen to them or am I just going crazy? I have two cats at home. At night, they at night they are either in one of the kids' rooms or downstairs. They are not allowed in my room at night because they don't let us sleep. So when we go to bed, we always lock our door, and unless you have a key, you aren't getting in. Yesterday, my hubs got up and left to work at 5 a.m. He always locks the bedroom door so the kids don't go in and the little one doesn't open it. Let the cats in. In parentheses, it says the cats do hang out in my room, just not when we sleep. Anyways, he left and texted me before driving off, telling me that he only saw one cat. I explained that the other one was probably sleeping with the kids, and that was that. I went back to sleep, and after a while, that I felt the cat jump on the bed, walk up onto me, and stand there. I didn't open my eyes. I just went to reach for him, but he walked back to my legs and laid there. I just said, "Oh, Kippy, did you sneak in my room when Daddy left? That's why he couldn't find you." I was too tired to kick him out, and since the other cat wasn't there, I figured he wouldn't run around alone, so I just went back to sleep. Later on, I got up, and Kippy was nowhere to be found, and my door was still locked. I opened the door to see if he would run out, but he was sitting downstairs with the other cat. This is not the first time that's happened to me either. I swear I feel a cat in my bed walking around and lay at my feet. Then when I get up, there's nothing there. Wow, this is crazy because I don't think I don't think I've ever heard a story where someone is feeling an animal. It's always someone feeling some kind of like human presence. But to feel an animal is like something I've never heard of.
I've been
And
reading a
that's like,
lot of these stories recently. I guess
really?
it goes back. I mean, you got to think. I mean, people who they're we don't know much about anything, but I mean, if it's the same thing as with humans, like a pet could be attached to, a place. Maybe that's why
Yeah,
they
and
felt safe.
I'm
And
I'm wondering if maybe they had a pet that passed away. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. That's really weird. That's really weird.
this is who was this from? Laura Pina. Laura Pina. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Definitely had this happen. Oh, here we go. Definitely had this happen to my boyfriend and I. There's multiple times I'll be sitting at the kitchen table or my desk and feel what I assume is one of my two cats rub against my leg. I'll reach down and pet them and they aren't there. Every time I went to see which one it was, they'd both see me sleeping in a different room. My boyfriend swears he feels an animal walk around lightly on our bed at night, and we also shut and lock our door so our cats aren't in there with us. I'm a super light sleeper, and once I was laying on the left side of the bed, on my left side, I felt a small section of the bed next to me go down a little bit, but it didn't scare me. To me, it felt like a dog stood on two legs, and the front were on the mattress, like trying to get my attention. One of my cats has also been way jumpier lately than and none of us know why. We crack jokes he sees ghosts, but I wouldn't be surprised. I've also heard people in the house too.
Wow.
I'm trying to say so Caitlin's stepfather had a story like that too. He said that he was sitting there and this was in the morning. They have a cat and a dog. The dog sleeps in like the cage, not locked, but like it likes to sleep in the thing. They got a bed in there, but they do have a cat. So he woke up to something like climbing around his neck, and he woke up to it, and there was nothing there. And he looked, the cat was downstairs, like asleep. Like he woke the cat up
That is weird.
or something like that. But I mean, you had any cat stories? Or you
For
know
me, no. Like I said,
animal
this
stories?
is actually the first time I'm ever hearing a story like this. And I mean, just like you said, Nick, there's so many things that are unexplained, or
Yeah.
so we don't know what actually goes on. This could actually be happening, and if it is, that's just wild to me. I mean, to think that a past pet, or like someone could come visit you, like that's amazing to me. That's amazing.
It is. Let me go through some of the comments here. Let me go back in the chat real quick. Welcome. Story. Okay. Oh, Leanne says, oh my God, wow, ghost cat. Ash says, I got close to figure it looked like a spitting image of my dad. It was spooky because I was only young and it gave me night terrors due to being so young. His funeral wasn't easy, but I also lost my aunt in 2022. And we do recordings and we catch orbs as soon as we mention the names. Whoa.
That's
Um,
definitely some paranormal going on there.
yeah.
That's definitely paranormal, I would say.
Bear Flag says, my old cat comes to visit. She was 20 years old. I can feel her plop on the bed and lie down beside me.
Wow. I mean, now that I think about it, it makes sense because cats and dogs, animals have spirits too. So I can definitely see how they would, come back and visit. You just don't normally always hear about like
Yeah.
an animal coming back to visit. Crazy.
I like that though. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Um, could have been an animal spirit. Do you have any pets that passed away? I felt this a few times. It happened before. Um, maybe residual. Sure enough, yes. Unless the cat maybe the cat opened the door. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, I don't know because
No, I
in
meant
her
like just.
thing, oh, like actually open the door. I don't know.
No,
You
he
never
said it was
know.
locked.
Like you never know.
It's possible. So let's go to our this one here. This was from last week when I posted. So like I like to share this, and then a lot of people tell me their stories in here.
Okay.
We got quite a few people that reacted to this and a bunch of comments.
Awesome.
So let's go through these ones first. I have plenty. A few. My phone's changed, but I'm not for sharing all mine. Um, Plenty of a medium. Oh, here we go. I got a scary story from when I was in prison. Actually, a few good ones. I was held down on my bunk in a room by myself at the time after my toilet erupted and awoke out of my sleep being smacked in the forehead. Plus, watched a guy walk past my window in the lockdown hours when nobody was out in the pod. Scary isn't worthy to describe that place. Lots of murders and cases in there. I don't want to get flagged. Whoa.
Listen, like this was out of prison.
Yeah.
Now, the amount of like, especially older prisons, the amount of paranormal activity that goes on in those places is absolutely wild.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean, like even up where you are, Nick, the psych center up there.
We can't ever get into it.
I know. We've tried so many times, but they don't want us. Um, but it just like can you just imagine the paranormal activity going on in places like that? Like it's unbelievable. But it makes sense with especially the older prisons where a lot of torture happened.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of people die in prison, you know what I mean? And the boop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I could definitely see how a situation like that would be scary, especially since it got to a point where it was physical. You know what I mean?
Oh
Someone
yeah.
holding them down on their bunk is just that's wild.
And
That's
you hear
wild.
that like things like when they talk about these paranormal activity, it's like it's all these people say it's like an emotional response from you. That's kind of like how poltergeist is. There's some theories that poltergeist activity is caused by like you, like you're the one they're
Yeah.
feeding off that energy from you, like in that
Hmm.
state of mind. So I can only imagine if you're in that prison, you're in that state of mind, and you're everyone else is there. Like what else do they got? Like some people are locked in there for life. They have nothing else. I can only imagine that state would be absolutely heightened in there.
Exactly.
That was a crazy story. Let's read a couple in the chat right now. Yeah. So Leanne says it was locked. Ash, it's crazy. There's a legend of the Bait Hall. It's in the internet regards to paranormal. The previous landlord has been claiming to see a lady in white. If you guys want the link, I can send it via message. Yeah, please send it.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
Leanne, lots of ghosts in jail. Absolutely. Rachel, my grandma died 1 month into the 2020 quarantine. Oh, I'm sorry. And I was heartbroken when she passed. She left on her own terms, so at least we had that. The following Halloween, I was thinking about her, um, and and my late grandma who died when I was little. I decided to make a dinner in their memory with foods uh, they
Hmm.
both loved. I lit a candle and got cooking. While I was cooking, I kept hearing random ingredients falling in my cabinets while they were closed. Just bottles of wash your sister sauce and seasonings failing for no reason and almost making a mess while this was going on. There's parts to this. But Ash is saying, replying to Leanne, very true. So that story's on pause right now because she's still typing.
Okay.
Um, I've seen her. Okay. Okay. Let's go back and see if we can see any more stories while that goes. Lots of paranormal. Which prison was it? Okay, been a cop for 24 years. I have tons of stories.
Joey,
Oh,
please let us know. Please tell us.
Joey, I think did he send me a message? There's a lot of people send me a message. I was out of town, so I will check them. Oh, we got another prison story. Hold up. When I was in prison 35 years ago, I was mopping the kitchen hall about 11 p.m. Everything's stacked against the walls. I'm halfway through, dead center of the hall. As I'm swinging the mop side to side, I catch a glimpse of something dark and big standing behind me. I turned around, there was nothing there. It was like 5 feet away from me. I ran out of there quick.
Wow.
I don't blame you on that. I mean, that Marcus and I are very, we don't get scared for anything. So if it was there, we probably would have fought it. No, no, we saw something. I was a little baby about it. I was swearing, but it's crazy because during that time when we saw that happening, I was freaking out. But in that time when I was younger and saw that door closing when I told it to, I was excited.
Yeah.
So it's weird how maybe it was something bad. I don't know though.
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know. But that was, yeah, like I said, that was the craziest thing we've ever seen. Okay, hold on a second. We got back to the. There's some parts of the story now. Okay. Take care of it. Candle was lit. Okay, so it was saying while it was going on, the candle was lit. I was going absolutely nuts, and I had to take care of it before it lit something. So my late family has a bit of habit from visiting beyond the hub just to mess with their loved ones. So it wasn't scary. The problem was I was told they argued a lot when they were alive, so the noises were getting bad. The thuds were getting loud, almost broke. So I shouted that I would get my holy water. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Ash. That was from Rachel. Ash says, I've seen her myself in the window from her story, or from Ash's story. Um, okay. We got someone. Millie. How you doing, Millie? I live in a haunted house, tons of stories. One day I was outside and a figure was staring at me from my bedroom window. Never ever wanted to sleep in my parents' room so badly.
Wow.
What?
Wait, does she currently live in a haunted house or she lived in a haunted
I
house?
live in a haunted house. Tons of scary stories. Is
Oh,
from Millie. Imagine just
Millie.
walking and just like looking up at your room and there's someone in there.
I know that's
Dude,
absolutely wild. Millie, if you have any pictures or any like videos or anything or any stories, please let us know. We'd love to hear them.
absolutely. We got part 6. If they didn't cut it out, so where we leave off, I get my holy water if they didn't cut it out. The noises stopped, and after that, my candle flame calmed down. My kitchen, my rules, and they both left, and they both seemed to respect that. Sorry, I couldn't post in full. It's fine. It's a cool story.
That is a cool story. And I think this is like important to know, especially when you're dealing with the paranormal, right? That you are the boss. If you have an unwelcome guest, a ghost or spirit in your house, you are the boss. You can absolutely sit there and say, "No, I don't want you here. No, you're not welcome here." The minute you start welcoming these things in is when you'll start see a little bit more activity, right? You are the boss of that situation. Take control of that situation. A lot of the times what happens is people get scared and they start to let the entity become the boss, and that's when they start seeing the shadow figures. They start, maybe it starts getting physical. So it's very, very important to control that situation if you're in that situation. Absolutely. I think that was great step for you. Great step.
And that's the stuff. I mean, would you consider what we're doing welcoming them in a sense? Because we're opening up we are opening up that line of communication with them versus like someone living in that house. They're like, oh, I'm not, it didn't happen. That the
So
refrigerator didn't fall down. That didn't happen.
there's something very important about that. We open a line of communication, but when we're done with that line of communication, we say something to the extent of, I am closing this line of
Mm-hmm.
communication. You are no longer allowed to communicate with me or interact with me in any way. That is very, very important. You are now taking control, saying, listen, this stops right here. Thank you for communicating, but this ends right here.
And that might not work all the time, but it's definitely a something to do before.
Absolutely.
Because there's been cases where even I do that and it's follow me home, but that was something that was a lot more powerful than just like a
Right.
normal spirit. Or we
Right.
we talk
Right.
about spirit, we talk about ghosts. We don't even know what we're communicating with.
Exactly.
I mean, ghosts in general, they could just be like we could just be speaking through an alternate dimension or something. But here's the thing: there is something. We're not just talking to no one. We have Marcus and I. We've seen things that
Oh,
defy
absolutely.
explanation. There is something out
Absolutely.
there. We just don't know what exactly it is.
Exactly.
I mean, you could talk into aliens,
Yeah.
like from another dimension or something. But it is another dimension. It's another space. Hold on a second. Let's go down here. This is from Rachel. No, we finished that. Uh, Barry Plays over on YouTube. When I was 15, my mom usually did the laundry around 10 or 11 p.m. So one night I was sleeping when I was woken up by my door opening and the light from the hallway coming in. My head is behind the door. What? That is weird.
Wait, so he was sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
head is behind the door,
Mm-hmm.
and the door starts opening.
Door starts opening.
Did anyone walk in?
I don't know. Barry, did anyone walk in? Or anything walk in?
I mean, I'm assuming if he's telling this story, probably not. So like
Yeah.
that's wild. That's absolutely wild.
Okay, while we're doing this, let's go back to our Facebook page. We got some other ones. Oh, there's just a nice little picture here. Preston Castle in Lone, California. Just a cool picture.
Wow. Definitely looks haunted.
Yeah. You just look at a place and you're like, yeah, that's place. So you ever
Yeah.
walking, just going down the street, like, yeah, that's haunted right there.
Yeah.
All right. It's from Aaron Pike. A few years ago, my landlord passed away. I was given a piece of art left to me. Since that day, I mounted it on the wall in my living room. Bad karma reached me. Things in my life inexplicably, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying, went wrong
Hmm.
to the point where I took it down and sealed it away. I still have it, but won't allow it back on the wall.
Sounds like there's some bad juju with that piece of art.
Haunted. I mean, there's literally haunted museums. So like, there's things where people say like, it's not just the house that's haunted. There could be something like we said where something's attached. It could be
Yeah.
attached to something that was their favorite. Like
Yep.
that was his favorite piece of art. There was this other show. It was called The Haunted Collector. That was one of my favorite shows.
Yep.
Where he would go in and he would find like, oh, do you have anything in the house? He would find things like through the clues, and there was actually one where he found something in the wall. So they had to
Yeah.
like break the piece in the wall, and they grabbed this object out of there, and they're like, that isn't ours, and that ended up being the piece that was they were attached to.
Wow.
But I mean, I've been to the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum too, so I mean, maybe you could sell that to him. He'd probably put that up on his wall there. To be honest. Um. Okay, we got another one from Millie here. Oh, Ash sent it to you. Sent you the link on Messenger. Uh, sounds good. I'm probably gonna check that after the stream, but I like to. I'm not gonna forget about you. We'll bring that up next week. Millie, one day I was also gardening and I saw something behind me. Well, felt like it and seen it. Turned around, nothing was there. A few hours later, I was looking around my house, making sure everything was clean for my mate coming over, and in the corner of my eye, a smiling figure was looking at me from my living room door. No one actually goes into the living room, and just the kitchen. I feel that. Later on, me and my mate were sitting there where I call the room of dreams, as it feels like a dream when I go in there. We both seen a hand where the door is, and my friend's leg got pulled down violently.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely intense.
Oh, Barry's story wasn't finished. So my head is behind the door when it opens up. Okay. So I think to myself that has to be my mom coming in the room to put my clothes up, but I hear her and run. But I hear her but I hear grab her and run. What? Oh, so whatever the noise said, but I hear grab her and run. So I got up, so I got to scream and I wake up. Hmm.
Wow.
Ash says, I was just going to say about that haunted museum. Bear flag. I have some spirit trees I made when I moved in. Lots of local ghost stories up here in the mountains.
Hmm.
What are spirit trees? I Lots of ghost stories come in the mountains. I figured it was best to keep them out of my house. I'm not familiar with spirit trees. That's some sort of thing to I'm assuming that's something to ward them off.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
So when I wake up, the same thing happens to the door. This is from Barry. Same things happen to the door. The door opens up and the light comes in again, and this creature looks like a black goblin. It jumps on the door handle, then jumps on my chest, and I scream. And come on, Barry, you're blue. I think there's some of these are out of order. So definitely, it looks like something did come in the room,
Yeah.
and it wasn't the mom. Let's go back to Bear Flag. It was believed that the spirits are dazzled by the colors of the bottles in the sun. Once they enter the bottle, they can't find their way out, much like flies. Legend had it that empty glass bottles placed outside the home could capture roving, usually evil spirits at night, and the spirit would be destroyed the next day in the sunshine.
Wow.
Ash said, "Run, sorry, but that would freak me out." I remember she's talking about Barry, about the goblin on the on Barry's chest. Oh my gosh. What is going on, Barry? Okay, so I wake up again and the door is opening and the light is coming in, and this time it's my mom. Okay. Well,
Hmm.
that's I would say a happy ending to that story.
Yeah,
That it
very
wasn't
good.
actually the goblin, but
Yes.
um did we look at this one? No, we didn't. Running out of time. How much time we got? Oh, we only got 10 minutes left. Okay. Ghost hunting for 20 plus years. I've had a lot of experiences. One of the coolest was a spirit running down the hallway. You can hear the footsteps that had jumped on and through me as I was going down the stairs. Like 1,000 ice cold needles shot through me. Awesome experience.
Wow.
That is cool.
John, that is absolutely awesome.
Um, so we do have. Hold on, let me go back to you. We do have. There's a lot. There's so many stories, and I love reading them all. Maybe I'll end up making this stream longer eventually, but I do have one more story that I wanted to share. Maybe
Okay.
you can read this one. A lot of
Let's see.
this is another. Was this another? Yeah, we got another cat story. We have another cat story for you folk out there. So this is from Esther Lonzo.
Esther Lonzo. Okay. Many may not believe this, but here it goes. My family lives in a 125-year-old house and is currently the oldest home in our small town of a little over 500 people. One night, my husband was sleeping, and I walked into our bedroom. And when I looked at him, I see my Siamese cat laying on his chest. As I could see her red eyes looking at me, and I told her, "Yeah, I see you," looking at me, and thought nothing of it. Went into our mini fridge and got my smokes. And on the way out, I only seen one eye. And I said, "I see you still looking at me." And at that point, I looked down, and my cat was on the foot of the bed, and the eyes were still on my husband's chest. Needless to say, it took me a very long time to sleep in that room again. My bed was the sofa for so long after.
I got
Okay.
chills from that.
Yeah. So like it's funny because the first thing she started out with was no one is going to believe this, but here it goes. And the thing I wanna mention about that is no one could make this up.
Yeah.
Like you can't make this up. Like these things like happens, and of course it's okay to have a skeptical mind, but like some of these stories are so wild, like this one, where like just they're so wild that like it's almost impossible to make up, and like what are your thoughts on this story, Nick? Like this is like
It's definitely something I would say something evil maybe.
could be.
Family lives a 125-year-old home. So that's a house you would be driving down and be like, oh yeah, that place is haunted. That's one of
Yeah,
those.
oh, absolutely. If your home is 125 years old, it's definitely haunted. Like,
Oh, this is what I forgot to say earlier. So we talk about all these objects that are haunted. We have even a person can become haunted. We have the house, but then we always forget about the land. So yeah, that
yes,
house is 125 years old, but the land is
yes,
how many
older,
how much how old is the land? It's
way older.
so
So,
who
yeah,
knows what happened on that land so long ago.
exactly.
Um and there's stories about like, oh, this place is haunted. But when I say like people are haunted, I mean like they can follow you. So there's some instances where I leave this house and I go to a different house and I still feel that same energy there because then
Yes,
it follows you. It's attached to you.
yes, yes,
But in this case, red eyes looking at you and the cat's still not there in the spot but the eyes are. I've never heard a story like that. That's such an interesting story and I
it's almost as like we're dealing with a shapeshifter
yeah.
at this point. You know what I mean? Because that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
Imagine she walks out and closes the door and the cat's like downstairs like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
the whole time. Like they were
yeah,
like a skinwalker situation here.
yeah.
Hold on. Let's see Ash, that would definitely freak me out. I so love your podcast, Nick. Are you able to please do the podcast an hour? 30 minutes goes too quick. Yeah, I think that's definitely in the works. We can make this go a little bit longer and do some more stories because I mean there's look at the thing there's like over 1,000 posts a week, which is insane. So
Yeah,
we have plenty of stories to tell,
absolutely.
and that just goes to show that there's you can't have so many instances of this, and it's right. You're right to believe anything you want. I mean, if you don't believe in paranormal, you don't. You know, usually people don't believe in it unless you see it face to face. But you have all
Right.
these instances, and not all of them are maybe true. They could be explained by things, but there's too many to make it seem like that's nothing. There's
Exactly.
something going on.
Exactly.
Um, Barry says sorry. You don't have to be sorry. What are you sorry for? Ash, has anyone got more paranormal stories? Inbox me. I love hearing these stories. Yes, share. I mean, there's a lot of people in there to make friends. This is a group for that. Make some friends. There's actually chats in there too. We have chats set up. There's like 5,000 people in each chat too. So and everyone's there. They're willing to help. We have our moderators in there that do an excellent job. That also
Awesome.
approve all the posts. Like everything in the group is approved. That's why we not usually a lot
Yes.
of scammers and people in that in there. Has anyone able? I have Barry says I have more, but they are long. But my childhood was just like the kid from Insidious, including the sleepwalking and dream off flying into the further. Please write your story and tag us in there because I want to hear about that. Insidious was my favorite movie. I think it is one of the
Oh,
scariest movies.
all the Insidious uh movies are absolutely just like hands down some of the best scary movies out there.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, hands down. So please tell us your story, please.
I do want to hear that. Replying to Ash and keep telling the stories. The podcast ends. Love hearing people's stories. I don't have any, unfortunately, but big respect to you guys. Don't have any. Be careful. If you don't have any, that's that could be a good thing. But don't you can speak things into existence. So don't go out there and be like, I want something to happen to me.
Yes,
But I mean, like, if you want to go in paranormal investigating, you have obviously go do that if that interests you. But don't be like, don't mock them or do anything because these are things you can't see that can affect you.
exactly.
So just be cautious about that. It's fascinating to read people or to hear people's experiences. Virgil, how you doing? Hey, from Manchester, England, how you doing today?
Wow.
Christy, I've got stories, but I'm technologically challenged. If you want to, you're over on YouTube. If you want to make a comment on there, um, just anywhere. You could send us a message on Facebook, but we'll, if you want to share your story, we'd love to hear it. Fascinating hearing the stories. Paranormal came. Oh, Ash is from Manchester. Myself, nice. Rachel, I don't have many, but most of them are just goofy. We love goofy stories. Dan Monroe, movies, music, and monsters chiming in. England rocks. Yes, it does. It's a big celebrity commenting on here. Actually, that's my stepdad. He's the best. He's got like 100. Last time I checked, like 120,000 subscribers. He is making it. If you guys want to check him out right now, click his. It's Dan Monroe / movies, music, and monsters. Check him out. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Virgil,
Nice,
I was
nice.
diagnosed with depression and was given electric shocks to my. I'm sorry. Testes. It never worked, but I got a buzz. Any thoughts? Greetings from Manchester. Um, hmm.
I'm not
I
sure.
I don't know. 117,000. Dan said. Christy, my stories are kind of long, racing from my childhood through the adult, and now my son is having experiences. Oh my gosh. Paul Richards, Dan is awesome. Yes, he is. Paul, strange comment. Yeah, strange comment. But it's not paranormal, but interesting nonetheless. We got less than a minute. Vasquez is about to expire on the screen. I want to say thank you for joining us here today.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
and whenever you can join us next, please do that.
Yes, absolutely.
And we lost him, so it's good that we got to see him before he left there. Sorry, just cut off Vasquez. That was not me. If you're watching back right now, so I apologize for that. But I want to say a little something here that's going to bring us to an end of our little more than 30-minute live stream today. Went a little bit more. If you like what you heard and made it this far, why don't you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and click that little bell. And please don't forget to share your stories below. And if you're new here, you can check out our previous series where we attempt to unravel other mysteries. And in our playlist, we have all of our other lives that we've discussed. And don't forget to stay curious and keep seeking the truth. I want to thank you all for being here. And we'll see you all live next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep the conversation going in the comments. Tag me in your post for a chance to be featured. And stay tuned for more Beyond the Hub podcast. We'll see you soon. And take care, everyone.